I'm sitting next to Zimbabwe's top leading female artist, Amara Brown.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm fine. It's so great to meet you in person.
It's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. So how does it feel to be at the top of your game in Zimbabwe?
It feels like yes, but not yet. I am not at my peak. I haven't reached the top, in my opinion. I'm pretty much on the journey to where I want to be.
Where do you want to be?
I want to be the biggest female artist in Africa. Period.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to take a lot, but, those are my goals. I love my territory. I love Zimbabwe. But I've got so many fans across the continent already that are just dying to get me where they are. And it's just all love. Every time I travel to a new country, it's just this level of excitement. It just sort of reignites me, and gives me that flame and that passion all over again. So I love my continent, and those are my goals for now.
So you come from a family background of amazing musicians, your father especially, the late Andy Brown. How do you feel like you're falling in the lineage in terms of being your own unique artist and also carrying on the name of the Brown family?
Yeah. My dad was very much a world music artist, and that was his strong suit, and he owned it, although he had so many different kinds of influences. When his sound came out, the shape that it always took was different, even within the world music spectrum. And me, as this Afro-pop artist, what was important for me was just to be the best version of myself. And my father loved that. He respected that. He treasured that. He supported that. And but it was very tricky when he passed away, because Zimbabwe expected a female version of this man that they loved, and he's their legend. However, I have worked day in and day out to make sure that my music, everything about my brand comes across that is true to myself. My story is different. My father grew up in a village. I grew up in the city. I'm different. I'm a female. I'm an Afro-pop artist. The messages that I have to sing about are different, or the way that I interpret them are different, even if they're the same message. And so I've tried my best to, I always pay tribute. I perform his music ever so often, 1 or 2 songs, as opposed to, what people expected. They just expected me to just sort of ride off of that, music and just perform all his music, and that would be the end of it. I don't have much respect for that. I think I have a voice, and I have a sound, and I have experiences to share that are different to what he brought forth. He was a guitarist. I'm a mbira player and a vocalist and a dancer. I love, putting in 110% energy on a stage. So with different kinds of performance, he has his legacy. We have his legacy now to uphold, but I'm also creating my own and adding and contributing to the family name more so than anything else, but with my own shoes to fill in the world, as opposed to trying to get into his.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Tell me about your top song, Achilles.
Achilles.
It's from this album, right? This is your new CD?
Yes, it is.
It's beautiful.
Martha. Thank you so much.
I love the green.
It's my favorite color.
I know, and the green lipstick.
Yes, thank you so much. I was so nervous about this project. I must say, I had released so many singles, but I'd never, put together a whole body. I once lost an entire album, and putting this together was just absolutely just a riveting experience. But somewhere a couple of months prior to releasing the album, I was in a relationship, and I'm the kind of person who believes that you should not just emotionally and mentally support the person that you love, but also, if you can help financially, do that. Actually, get into it. And we had a fight, and I felt really used. And I looked around me, and I realized that, in African culture, and particularly in Zimbabwean culture, I can't speak for every African culture, but in Zimbabwe, it's very strange to have a woman in power, a woman who is the provider, a woman who is, I'm the matriarch in my family, in my personal life, and I conduct that. It extends beyond what people see on a stage. Yes, I'm the boss on stage, I'm the boss at work, but at home, I also have a very huge role to play.
You're the boss.
Well,
you're the boss.
Well, something like that.
Okay.
But my input is very important. But I looked around, and all these women were getting into these relationships with these men who were using them for the wrong reasons. You love a person, but you don't particularly understand why the other person is in it because of the economic situation that we're going through. A lot of people, and I'm not even going to peg this on men, because with the song coming out, I found a lot of men were also saying women are also treating us like that. We're getting into marriages for financial reasons as opposed to, and so the story of Achilles from Greek mythology, I knew that Zimbabweans would just mess up the spelling, and a lot of people would be like, what is Achilles? So I turned the word Achilles into Achilles with a K and a Z at the end and one L. Simplify it so that, the hashtag is simple. Hashtag Achilles. And it's been amazing. It landed up Song of the Year. The video did the most. We debuted it on a major station across the continent, and it's done fantastic online. A lot of people had a lot to say about my depiction of the storyline of what was going on, because the sexual connotations are a bit much for some people, but I'm a very sexually liberated woman, and I don't believe that my music should portray anything else. And I love the social conversations that have come out of the music video, and I'm very glad with the stats. We're going on 500,000, so I'm super, super proud right now in a space of just over a month. And,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's done great. I'm grateful.
That's amazing. So you play the mbira.
Yes.
It's your traditional side.
Yes.
I really would love to hear you play something for us.
I would love to do that, actually.
I'm going to be performing a song called Next Lifetime. This is called mbira. It is a Zimbabwean traditional instrument, and even though I'm a pop artist, I love incorporating this in my music. I recorded this song with the now late, great Hugh Masekela. Very dear, not just artist, but person to me. And I'd like to dedicate this performance to him because we recorded this song together. And I hope you enjoy it. Here it goes. My feet
Thanks again for that gorgeous song. You know, you messed me up. My makeup, I was crying. That was so beautiful.
You're so welcome. It came from the heart. I actually initially composed that song with my late little sister, whom Sekuru Nasekela loves dearly as well. So it's a very sentimental song to me, and I'm glad I could share that with you.
Thank you so much. So a few more questions.
Yeah.
You've lived around the world also.
Right.
Tell me about your time in the United States and what that did for you.
Oh man, my mom had just moved there a couple of months prior. She liked to bounce around a lot, and you know, one of the goals, she wanted to live in America for a while, and so we did. I moved there all of 11 years old, and I remember my mom saying to me, "What race are you?" And I said, "I'm colored," and she's like, "No, you're not. You're black here, and let me explain why." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, at 11.
It's very confusing because in Africa, I'm not black. I'm mixed, and they have all sorts of, you know, definitions and terms and restraints that we had coming out of, you know, colonization and all that kind of thing. Even now, there's still a lot of social difficulties that we have. If I date somebody black right now, it's interracial. So, yeah,
my gosh.
yes, it is.
That would not be the case in the United States.
Exactly. I had to learn that. I had to understand what is this history. She made me binge watch Roots, Color Purple, name it. You know, Malcolm X. I was suddenly, you know, exposed to all these people, this entire culture and history that I had no idea about. And I realized the dynamics when I got home. So I'm coming back and I'm just like, "I'm black," and they're like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "What? Why?" Because my dad was also mixed as well. So it helped me as an adult, particularly. I look back now, and I was very grateful for the American experience because I was exposed to just how different culturally, just how different America is and the world is, and how different Africa is, and how to integrate and help that understanding cross over. Even now, in the process of my music, and just how I am, my persona, the understanding that Zimbabweans need to have, America was a very important, integral part of how I view the world and how I even view sexuality. You know, it's very conservative here, or they appear to be conservative.
That'll be a different interview.
You know, so
maybe off the record.
Yeah, it's very different. But yeah, I loved America. I fell in love with hip hop culture, even more with R&B. My mother had exposed me, you know, years prior to. So I remember being in the Martin Luther King choir and just loving choir as an actual class. Oh my God, that's gold here because that doesn't exist here. America's ability to nurture talent. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're talented." There's so much more that it takes than talent. Americans are very much about, you know, going in 110% nurturing, and I adopted that. I took it with me, and I think it was a very important part of how I became as a woman. And eventually I lived in South Africa, which is also its own beast. But love living about. But Zimbabwe is my favorite.
All right, well, we're going to have to wrap it up, unfortunately.
All right.
Do you have any message you would like to give to all of our listeners in Africa, on Music Time in Africa, and follow us on Facebook?
Oh my goodness. It is the most amazing time to be African, first and foremost, and I want to say to you that all of you out there you are the picture. You are help formulating the picture of whom African people are. And it is so important. I'm so grateful for every single one of you who do already support me and my music. And those of you who haven't yet, please get to know. Follow me on Facebook at Amara Brown Fans, AMMARA, 3 A's, 2 M's, and 1 R. We always have to clarify that. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, find me on YouTube, and have a great time. And let's grow together, let's build together, let's redefine what an African person is. Want them to know. Love.
Amara Brown, Music Time in Africa, with me, Heather Maxwell, on the Voice of America. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is great.